Hello, huge movie fanatic Nate coming at you with another movie review. Today I'm coming at you with a movie review for the movie by the name of Don't Breathe. Now this movie isn't something that I normally would have went to see in a theater, just to see by itself. I probably would have seen it in a second run theater after the fact, but the reason I ended up seeing this is because we went to a drive-in where this was the third movie of three movies. A triple feature drive-in night on a mid-September night. It was kind of cool. And this was the third movie. So, I was kind of interested in this because it was Ghost House, it is a Ghost House production, which means, I think it's Sam Raimi, and I don't know if I can't remember the other guy's name. But, Sam Raimi and his buddy executive produced this, among other people as well. And, even though Sam Raimi hasn't necessarily done anything that I really likes in a long time, it's still, whatever. So, and it's rated R because back when Ghost House started 10 years ago or so, it was all about the PG-13 horror and The Grudge, which I really didn't like, and Boogeyman movie, which I didn't really like. So I don't know if this is, I don't keep track of all the Ghost House productions, but I don't know, this very well may be the first rated R Ghost House production, which is kind of cool if it is, and even if it's not, whatever. So, on to the review of Don't Breathe. So, I don't know, this movie kind of has a little bit of, reputation, whatever, as being whatever. I didn't hear much about it. I don't really hear much about stuff anymore, so that's cool. So it began with this kind of cool, I don't know if it's a drone or helicopter shot of, I don't know if they can put, red cams on drones, probably, I don't know. But it might be a drone shot or something of, coming in from the sky and coming and seeing this. We saw it at the drive-in. This movie's really dark, so it's really not ideal to see at the drive-in because, dark scenes at the drive-in are really dark. So even though this opening shot was during the day, it was kind of dark to see what was going on. But it's this really kind of cool shot of from the sky, goes in and sees this guy dragging a girl, I think, or whatever, and that was just kind of like bam, and that was whatever, and now we start the story. The story basically is just these three younger, maybe 20-somethings people, this one ghetto gangster wannabe guy, this one, I don't know what, I guess you could call him a good guy, good boy, good whatever, not ghetto gangster, just a guy, whatever, just guy, and then this girl who's kind of, and they're all three house thieves, burglars. We see them rob a house at the beginning of the movie, and it's just oh whatever. We see that this girl's got a daughter. Oh, by the way, this is going to be a spoiler-laden review, so if you don't want to be spoiled, if you haven't seen it, if you plan to see it and don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this review. This robber girl's got a daughter. Oh, poor her, whatever. Not that that's any excuse to, anyway, yeah. So we see that it's presumed, I'm pretty sure this is her daughter, most likely. So, and she lives I think with her mom and this ghetto mom and ghetto boyfriend, just a shitty situation, which, she wants to get out of. I think this takes place in Michigan, and go to California, that's a lot better. But anyway, long story short, this movie is about these three assholes who, actually the one guy, the non-ghetto guy, is not really an asshole. He doesn't really necessarily know if they should be doing this, and they shouldn't, of course, but whatever. They end up finding, these are robbers or whatever, burglars, so they have their burglar ways. They end up finding this house of basically this character, Stephen Lang of Avatar, plays this character. He's actually first billing, I think, so I don't know if this is his first billing in a movie, or first time for first billing or not, but at any rate, Stephen Lang's in this movie. He plays this blind vet or whatever whose daughter had been killed before the movie started by this, yuppie rich bitch, and got a settlement, whatever, was a six-figure settlement from, the family or whatever. And so these burglars, I don't know, I don't know why they would think he's keeping the money in the house, but turns out he is keeping the money in the house. The movie's basically about them burgling this blind vet's house. And this movie, it should be noted that it's kind of reminded me of, what were the three movies? Oh, first of all, it reminded me of People Under the Stairs, then it reminded me of Panic Room, and then it also reminds me of shit. I can't remember the third movie it reminds me of. Oh, Blind Fury with Rutger Hauer. Rutger Hauer is a blind vet in that movie, and he has since learned all kind of whatever ninja skills and stuff. Blind Fury is actually kind of cool. Me and my dad actually saw that at the drive-in, the same drive-in I saw this coincidentally. And I actually got that on VHS and then DVD. Blind Fury is pretty cool. But this movie reminded me of People Under the Stairs, Blind Fury, Panic Room, whatever. It's kind of a mishmash of all kinds of stuff all together. It really, just the ambience of whatever is kind of what reminded me of Panic Room, and obviously the robbing of the, house. To me, it's not the most original movie in the world. I mean, it's just taken all kinds of different whatever. But so at the end of the day, basically, I'm not going to do beat by beat. Oh, it's dark. I'm not going to do, scene by scene or whatever, but long story short, I'm just going to spoil this whole movie out. It just will make for a better review, I think, or whatever. At the end of the day, it turns out that, with all these, kids breaking in and fiddling with this, in this guy's house, this guy had since kidnapped that preppy rich bitch who had, ran over her daughter, and he basically injects her. Not, before the movie started, we find out that he injected her with his, with his you-know-what via a, turkey baster. The way he figured it is, well, she took his daughter, so she should give him a daughter, which kind of makes sense, I must admit. It should be noted that I kind of, this movie is an interesting movie in the sense that I don't know what this makes me, but I kind of hesitate to say it, but I kind of side with the Stephen Lang character in this movie. I pretty much agree with, not that I, actually do what he does in the movie or whatever, but a lot of the shit he says, and stuff, about having, this bitch killed his daughter, so give me a child, it's kind of a circle of life makes sense. And I regard the bad guys in this movie to be the burglars, and the Stephen Lang is a good guy. I don't know if that's so. I guess if nothing else, that's kind of the interesting dynamic about this movie, is that I don't know. I would say Stephen Lang character is supposed to be like the bad guy, where I think he's the victim in this movie. I mean, he was a victim before the movie started. I mean, it was his own choice to be or whatever a soldier and shit. So, but he was a victim in that, and he can't see anymore. And then his daughter was run over. He's a victim that way, and now he's being burgled as a result of his daughter being killed and and shit. And it's just like he's just a repeat victim over and over. So I definitely kind of rooted for the Stephen Lang character in this movie at the end of the day. And kind of wanted to see all of the burglars die. I was kind of course they're all not going to die. I was kind of hoping they all would. So, a lot of it most of it was dark because it takes place in oh, that's another thing. Why does this guy even have lights on in his house? He's got lights in his house, Why does a blind guy need lights in his house? Which, of course, later on he turns off to even the playing field, which is, of course, Rutger Hauer does in Blind Fury as well. But it's kind of like, I was thinking about that before I turned him off. Like, why does he have lamps and shit and lights in his house for these kids to walk so they can see? Wouldn't you? Yeah. So, but you gotta have lights on, I guess, so the viewers can see the movie. But when he did turn the lights off for a very brief part of the movie, they did this kind of cool effect, which is supposed to be complete darkness. It's kind of like a, kind of a pseudo makeshift night vision effect where everything was all gray, and it's supposed to be complete darkness, which was kind of cool when they leveled the playing field and whatever. So the cool thing about this movie is them, this guy being blind and them being able to basically just stand there in the room, and he's like, who's there? How many of you are there? And it's just and so it's like cat and mouse. If you're a fan of cat and mouse movies, you'll probably like this movie. Just it's not like an action-packed slam bang. It's not even really that horrific or anything like that. It's more of a just, I guess, suspense thriller thing. Would be a good words to describe this movie. Suspense thriller. It didn't blow my socks off by any stretch of imagination. I think at the end of the day, we're going to go 2.5 stars out of 4 stars for Don't Breathe. I kind of felt like it as so many movies do in my opinion, it kind of wore out its welcome towards the end, and of course it was the third movie of a, triple feature, and it was late and stuff like that. That doesn't help. But I kind of felt like at the end of the day, it was just little drawn out, little wearing out its welcome towards the end with her escaping and the dog chasing her and getting caught in the car and trapping the dog, and it was just kind of like, yeah. So it's probably the best Ghost House production movie that I've seen. Having only seen I think just Grudge and Boogeyman and now this, but I guess that's about it for this movie. Like I say, I don't know. Feel free to let me know in the comments, if you've seen this movie, how you viewed the characters. Like, did you regard Stephen Lang character as the bad guy and like the burglars as somehow the good guys? I don't know how, because they're fucking ripping this poor guy off who's already in a shitty situation. So I definitely sided with Stephen Lang's character in this movie. It was just like, you really wanted to see all them assholes, burglars, basically just pay the price or pay the piper or whatever. So I guess that about does it for the review of Don't Breathe. Not too sure about the title, but whatever. I mean, there was scenes obviously where that happened, where he was looking for him and they were like, just can't make a sound because he's got a gun. There's this kind of cool scene where he's just like got a gun and pans it past two characters and they're like, hope he doesn't pull the trigger at any given moment when it's pointing at them. And it's kind of cool. I mean, this is it's better than the majority of stuff that I see that's currently being made now and stuff. But just because of its just lollygagging and stuff, it's just 2.5 stars. I just can't go any higher. And also particularly having reminded me of at least 3 other movies and taken stuff from 3 other movies. But at this day and age, I mean, crap, you pretty much can't do much, if anything, original anymore. Everything's pretty much rehashing everything else. So, very much like I said this movie did, I think I kind of am wearing out my welcome in this review. So I think with that, we will leave it right there. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you next time.